This is Trooper. They're a Canadian rock band formed in the 70s. Maybe you've heard of them, and maybe you haven't, but you've probably heard some of their hits. Trooper is regarded as the most popular Canadian rock band in Canada, which is pretty high praise, and that's coming from a multitude of sources. Today, I'm going to be talking about their greatest hits while making some delicious mac and cheese. And we're going to be talking about their greatest hits specifically on their album Hot Shots, which is a compilation of some of their greatest hits. It has a few notable exceptions that are missing, but this is a very cool album, and my copy comes on very cool white vinyl. Okay, so we're making mac and cheese, so obviously we need macaroni. I followed the instructions on the box, even though they're ridiculous. It called for 16 cups of water. I ended up significantly reducing that and using much less water in the end. But as you can see here, the pot's very, very full. I don't know what I was thinking, but I also don't know what the people who made the box were thinking. So, can't really blame me. Anyways, there's all the noodles, just pour them into boiling water, put a lid on it, and let them become soft. You can see now I've taken out a lot of the water. So for just a little bit while that's boiling, let's talk about the album here. This is a great album. It contains a bunch of their greatest hits from the time, and of course their greatest hits of their entire careers, even spanning to today, although two of the main members have retired. The band continues to exist, which is just fantastic. Anyways, this album contains a lot of hits on it. Some of the most notable hits are The Boys in the Bright White Sports Car, We're Here for a Good Time,
Not a long time, so have a good time, the sun can shine every day,
and Raise a Little Hell.
Raise a little hell, 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 raise a little hell,
Which I think is probably the most popular song outside of Canada.
Don't like what you got, why don't you change it? If your world is all screwed up, rearrange it. Raise a little hell, raise a little hell, raise a little hell.
But it's hard for me to say. Now those are all really, really good songs. A personal all-timer of mine, Baby Won't You Please Come Home.
Come on, baby, won't you please come on?
I really like the way it starts, really, really slow, sad. You kind of feel the emotion to it.
Can't do nothing, I can't feel nothing, I can't be nothing without you.
And later it really picks up.
This place is so empty when you're not around. Come on.
It never gets happy, but there's just a lot behind the song itself.
Ever since I woke up this morning and found myself here all alone.
I don't know, it sounds great. It's really the instrumentals and everything, but it's well written for sure, and super well composed.
Come on, baby, come on to me. Come on.
all the music on this, honestly, very, very well composed. It's a great album for just how it sounds and how well done each and every song is. None of them sound unprofessional in any capacity. Okay, so now we're going to measure out 3/4 a cup of the Pasca water, and we're going to make ourselves a cheese sauce with it. So the noodles are looking done, so now that that's out, we're just going to strain those off. Then we're going to stir in just a scoop of cornstarch. So this is out of order, but I spoon in just a standard like teaspoon here of cornstarch, and I mix that in with the Pasca water. Then I took my various cheeses. I'm using some brick cheddar, some brick mozzarella, and some cheddar with truffle in it, as well as some Parmesan cheese. And we're just going to mix all of those together with our Pasca water and cornstarch mixture, and that's what we're going to use to make our cheese sauce. So a variety of 4 cheeses there, which is quite just very tasty, creamy, and delicious, super cheesy. This turned out very, very well. So once it got to just a nice consistency without any clumps, I decided it was ready to take off the burner and mix it in with our Pasca. So I just poured it straight on into the big Pasca bowl and used a rubber spatula to mix it all around. Silicone spatula, obviously. Those are by far the best tool for this. I made sure to get all the edges and to mix and loosen up all the noodles so that they aren't clumped together from the Pasca water and the boiling. And they're all nice and separate and completely covered in that cheesy goodness. Those look delicious. You can see the nice cheese strands forming. Then we're going to take out an empty baking tray and we're going to cover the bottom in breadcrumbs. Just plain breadcrumbs. Then we're going to do a layer of our Pasca and a layer of breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese on top of that. Then we're going to do another layer of Pasca, another layer of just grated cheese, then the final top layer of Pasca, a big coating of breadcrumbs on top of that, and a whole bunch more Parmesan cheese. Then we're going to heat up the oven to 420 degrees, blaze it,
Smoke weed every day.
and once it's preheated, we're going to put in all that Pasca. So we're going to let that cook, but not for very long, just enough to get kind of a nice crisp. Remember, the noodles are already cooked, everything's already cooked and melted. We just want the cheese that isn't melted to melt, and we also want the crusty breadcrumbs on top to nicely crispen up and become delicious. While we're also doing this, we're going to be making a nice cheese sauce to put on top of it, which you'll see how to make shortly. But in the meantime, we're just going to talk a little bit about the actual songs on this album, just in general. So, Trooper is an extremely prolific band. In terms of hits, they have a bunch, but not many are hits outside of Canada. The Boys in the Bright White Sports Car,
There they go. The boys are really rolling.
being a massive hit in Canada, Raise a Little Hell,
Dig in your heels and see how it feels to raise a little hell of your own. Raise a little hell, raise a little hell, raise a little hell.
being another massive hit. But they also have folksier songs like We're Here for a Good Time, which is another huge hit and a personal favorite of mine. Baby, Won't You Please Come Home is again very folksy, but they also have songs that are kind of comedic in nature, like General Hand Grenade,
Isabella Band-Aid, sucking on a Gatorade, looking at the mess they made, wondering what it's for.
or even Santa Maria, which has a little bit of a comedic nature to it. There's songs I don't like quite as much, like Round Round We Go and but I think overall this album is fantastic, and it just serves a very diverse variety of music. But it, again, doesn't have all of their greatest songs on it. I think one very, very, very notable standout is 3 Just Out as a 9.
You're just a 3 dressed up as a 9. You're only wasting my time.
I believe this is due to when this album came out, but that song came out this same year as this album. So, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a hit yet at the time. Anyways, they have a real diversity in sound. They go rustic, they go electric, they are really, really, really cool. I like Trooper a lot, and if you haven't listened to them much just because maybe you don't know them very well outside Canada, you definitely should give them a listen. So for the top, we're going to make a really cheesy top coat sauce. So for this, we're going to need half a cup of cream and a big piece of butter. Then we're just going to use all the remaining cheese we have, and I incorporated it slowly, but you can incorporate it all at once. And you just want to melt it into the sauce. We use a lot of cream, so this is going to be a much more decadent top sort of layer. It really should just go on top, make an extra layer that's extra delicious. Really, really top off this dish with something nice. So the other one was more of a roe-based cheese sauce using some of the Pasca water. This one's cream-based, and you'll definitely be able to taste the difference between the two, and it will just add a lot of flavor diversity and make this dish even more delicious. Once all the cheese is mixed in, just stir it really, really nice and good. Make sure there's absolutely no clumps and that it's a viscous fluid right now, but with a lot of cheesy goodness in it. Then just drizzle it at whatever speed, slowly, whatever. Just try and get as much of it to cover as much of the surface as possible. I was easily able to cover the majority of the surface area with this cheese sauce, which was very rich and delicious, and just top this off a little bit before garnishing. Now the reason I decided to make mac and cheese is not only because this album eats like a meal, it's also a very hearty album, which is some of the things I was thinking about, but above all, it really reminds me of being at a bar. It's like a bar food feeling album, and if you're ever at a bar, one of the best foods to order in my opinion, I don't know why. If they have it on the menu, order the mac and cheese. Usually I don't order mac and cheese at restaurants or anything, but at a bar, it's just delicious. So honestly, that was really all there was to this one. And I think it made a great pairing because this is a great recipe and you should definitely try it. And now we're just going to finally garnish this monster of cheesy goodness with some fresh chopped chives. These will add a little bit of flavor and look really pretty. Also, I just think they're delicious. And there you have it. Absolutely delicious mac and cheese. Crispy, cheesy, creamy, gooey goodness based on Trooper's Hot Shots.